and I soften, pause. My eyes crawl to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Roll dice and woes of life. Love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, focus reflected. Off the mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and rating and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, in paradise. We know our purpose. In paradise, in paradise. We know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you conceive.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and it is Thursday. Thunder coming off a big win last night against the Grizzlies, and of course, we figured that they would get one because the Grizzlies, especially without Jaren Jackson Jr., there wasn't going to be. I mean, we knew they were going to give us a match, or a fight, but we didn't know how close. I didn't think it was going to be that close. Number one, number two. When Chet wasn't playing, I figured it'd be a little bit closer, but the Thunder took care of business 120-103 behind our guy SGA's another 40-point performance from him. And as we've said many times on this show, as he goes, so go the Thunder. As he goes, so go the Thunder. If he's rolling, everybody else relaxes, and we play. Because once again, we have guys who make plays. We do not have playmakers. And the more that everybody can understand what their role is, the better we will be as a team. Because part of what I was saying the other day, and we had a good discussion last night, even though it was late. We went for like an hour and a half on after the storm last night. Had a bunch of guys coming in, and we have a very good chat group with that group of people, and people are knowledgeable. You don't have a bunch of people saying a bunch of idiotic stuff, but we have a good group of people come in and make comments, and it's just a nice back and forth. And my guy Nathan Taylor was on last night, so I'm sure he's struggling today at work because we were. I don't think. Let me see. We were there. We were on to like 12:40, 12:30, 12:40, something like late last night. And part of it is that we're talking about what the Thunder are, what the Thunder have in front of them, who we have, who we could possibly play in the playoffs. What is the threat of the Lakers? How big of a threat is that? And what's going on? And we talked about how the Thunder taking care of business last night, which we knew they were going to, or I figured that they would, because we had blown them out the previous game against Memphis. But I thought Memphis would give us a more of a game. And they did kind of in the fourth quarter there for a minute. They got within 6, Dagnar 7, whatever, 6. Dagnar calls timeout. Then we go on a 9-0 run. Then he brings SGA in at the 7-minute mark, which he never does. And then we go on a 16-2 run, game over, which is something that he should do more. But once again, he's managing J-Dub's minutes and managing SGA's minutes, making sure they play the exact set of amounts of minutes. Why? Because, once again, we're on ESPN. And if you're not on ESPN, he still does that. And this is the difference. If we weren't on ESPN, I think SJ would have probably set for a couple more minutes in the fourth quarter. Because when you're on ESPN, he can't afford to sit SGA till the 5-minute mark, because then it's going to become noticeable what his pattern of holding out SGA for 7 minutes. Because in the second quarter, the 6:47 mark, which is 6:30, 40 mark, whatever the timeout is that the NBA calls that automatic timeout, Memphis brings in their whole team. Ja, Clark, everybody. We bring in Dort. We bring in K-Rich. You sit SJ for 2 more minutes. It's just unconscionable that he can sit him for 7 minutes. Now, remember, guys, we are a -3 with him on the bench. That means we give up points while he's on the bench. We're plus 15, 16 with him in the game. With J-Dub in the game or on the bench, we are a plus. With Chet in the game or on the bench, we are a plus. with iHeart in the game. SGA is only one, and you play somebody who's not even one of the top 30 players in the league the same amount of minutes. Dagnall is the only coach that will do that. Why? Because the Athletics said it perfectly, not this past summer, but the summer before last year's our epic run. That this guy, can he coach a superstar? He cannot. He has no clue. Sam Presti's idea of what the Thunder are is that we are a team. He wants us to be a team, which is okay. But we're not a team. We are SGA and the others. That's what we are. If SGA is rolling, there's nobody's going to beat us. I don't care who it is, because once he's scoring, he scores a couple times and they know that he's rolling, everybody else relaxes and we will kick everybody's butt. And like I said, if SGA is rolling, it doesn't matter whether it's Boston, whether it's Cleveland, whether it's the Pistons, whether it's the Nuggets, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the T-Wolves. It doesn't matter what team it is. If SGA is scoring and he's rolling and the team knows it, we're going to win. Because everybody else can relax and say, oh, the guy's big man, he's got it. And we can just relax and play. They don't have to feel a need to try to make a play or try to do something. They don't have to do that. They can play within themselves. And if you're playing within yourself and what you're capable of, we're going to win. It's just like me with Wiggins. Bro, just pull up and shoot the threes and knock down threes. He hit a big three last night when we were struggling before he brought SGA back in the fourth quarter. Then he shoots a pull up and shoots a mid-range instead of trying to take it to the hole and trying to do all this stuff. Bro, just do basic basketball. Pull up, shoot the three, come up, pull up, and shoot a mid-range. Don't try to take people's spin moves and behind the back and all the stuff that you're not really capable of doing on a consistent basis. Can he do it every now and then? 100%. Now, like I've said before, had Dagnall done this last year or the year before when we were screaming for him to play Wiggins, then I'm 100% behind it. Because he would be so much farther ahead than he is right now. But you're going to wait to now to give him the ability, the free hand to do what he's doing. I like the fact that Dort is now trying to say, just shoot threes. I don't need you to try to don't try to make plays. Don't try to go to the basket and make some sort of pass and jump in the air. You're not capable of doing that. Stay within your lane because, as I've said many times, the playoffs, you have less possessions. You can't give away possessions by doing stuff that you're incapable of early in the game, because late in the game, instead of you being up 6 or 8, you're up 2 or down 1 or the score's tied. Why? Because you gave away 3 possessions because of lineups and because the players trying to do things they're not capable of doing. Those are the things that worry me about the Thunder. And as we talked about last night, I don't really worry about so much the Lakers and all that because of the way that the standings are set up. I mean, do I fear them? Sure, with Luka and LeBron, but where they stand now, not really. Not really. But let's go back to last night's game, okay, guys, so we can go over the stats and all that stuff. Last night games here, this is what happened. Thunder now improved to 51-11. They improved to 51-11. The Grizzlies are now 38-24. The Grizzlies were 9 for 34 from 3. Why? Because the Thunder's defense is so ridiculous. Our perimeter defense is just outstanding, even though we did not have Caruso last night and Chet. We were 15 for 38. They shot 40% from the field. We shot 50. They out-rebounded us by 10. That's because they got that monster Edie in the middle. And then, of course, Pips points in the paint, 46-46. And then, of course, they had 16 turnovers, which I was glad to see because the last few games we were struggling. We were just most teams, the most anybody had in like 4 or 5 games was 13 turnovers. And we're back to 16. Remember, I think we're at 17 and a half or something, and we'll go over those numbers here in a little bit as well. But 16 turnovers, which made a huge difference because when we get turnovers, what does that mean? We get out in transition. Transitional baskets equal flow of the game, equal ease of what we have to do and how we play. So you want to get transition baskets, you want to get steals to get the transition baskets, to get you in a flow as far as offensively knocking down threes, going to the basket, finishing at the rim. It hypes up your team. We were outscored by 1 on the bench last night. And then when you look, of course, at the game stats, J-Dub, 35 minutes, 20 points. Plus minus stuff is just ridiculous to me. But anyway, 7 for 17, 1 for 6 from three, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. And I thought J Dub played pretty good. I think he just played average. He didn't do anything that just made me go, wow, it was fantastic. I thought he played pretty good. Didn't do anything overly great or anything. I thought he had a good game. Isaiah Hartenstein, I heart. 10 points, 15 boards. Once again, dude, he is just defensively, 13 defensive rebounds. He was snatching everything. I mean, he was snatching everything coming off the rim last night. And, that's the thing that we have to have. And then offensively, he only had 2, but he probably got his hands on, slapped out 3 or 4 balls that he tipped out, which, of course, do not count as offensive rebounds for him. So, because offensive rebounds, we ended up with, how many offensive rebounds? 3. Joe got 1 and he got 2. So, and I don't know if they count tip outs as offensive rebounds. I don't know how that's a team rebound. I don't know how that works. SGA, 35 minutes, the same amount as J Dub, which is just, it's comical. 41 points, 14 for 25. And this is what's crazy, guys. He was 5 for 12 the first half. 5 for 12. So he went 9 out of 13 in the second half. That's what he does. 3 for 5 from 3, 10 for 10 from the line. 2 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. 5 fouls. He's just weird. How the hell did we get so lucky? I know because our GM, Sam Presti, 100%. You get Kevin Durant, who is going to be a top 10 player without question of all time. And then you get SGA. Now, we were talking last night on After the Storm whether SGA is going to be a top, 20 player. And I said the problem with SGA is he's a guard. Who are you going to put him in front of? There's a lot of great guards. Isaiah Thomas, you put him in front of Kobe. You put him in front of Michael. You put him in front of Isaiah. You put him in front of John Stockton. You put him in front of, Kyrie. You put him in front of Steph. Who are you putting him in front of? Now, if he continues on the path, Luka, because Luka's one. Remember, this is going to be. He's going to break his. He's been a 5-time first-team All-NBA. So he's going to break that. So you put him in front of Luka. Now, I'm going to take him over Luka personally myself. But that's what I'm saying. It's kind of harder for him to slide up. Now, is he going to be, maybe if he continues on the path that he is, could he be in a top 25, 30? Yeah, possibly. But we'll see. But the fact that we are blessed, and Sam Presti did that to give us Kevin Durant, and then now you're giving us SGA. That's just amazing what he is able to do. Lou Dort, 34 minutes, 1 for 7. He was 0 for 6, and he made a huge 3 at the end of the game to kind of, it basically put the dagger in them in their comeback in the fourth quarter. Basically, that's what he did. And that's all I want Lou doing. Catching, take your time, shoot. Don't try to fade away. Don't try to slide back. Just catch it, take your time, straight up, elbow in, shoulder back, bam, knock it down. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. His defense is just insane. He is just, the torture chamber is a real thing. It really is. Kaysen, another stellar night for him, even though he had 4 points. His defense on Ja and what he could do is just phenomenal. He is just absolutely, once again, another Sam Presti guy. And when you look at this 5, draft Jalen Williams, sign Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency, trade for SGA, draft Lou, draft Kaysen, draft Jalen Williams, who had a good night last night. And he was my player of the game last night because, he's from Arkansas, so he had all those peeps coming in. K. Rich played a decent game. He didn't play great, but I thought he played pretty good. 0 for 3, 0 for 1, but I thought he played pretty good. Isaiah Joe, you can still see his back was hurting. He did play last night. He's also from Arkansas, but you could just see he was struggling offensively last night. Aaron Wiggins, another good night for him. 30 minutes, 6 for 9, 3 for 4, 16 points. Thought he played really good, and, of course, Chet was a coach's decision not to play, which, of course, we could slide by and get by with that. So, anyway, that was last night. And when you look at this, Kaysen, what a beast. So, draft pick. Jay Will, draft pick. K. Rich, trade. I think we traded for K. Rich. Isaiah Joe, trade with Philly. Aaron Wiggins, draft pick. Chet, draft pick. So when you look at what Sam Presti has done for this team, the only outsiders, if you want to call them that, SGA, and we're still fleecing the Clippers. Sam Presti is still fleecing the Clippers over that Paul George deal because Kawhi wanted Paul George so bad, and they gave up everything to get him. And look at what happened. Kind of like what the Lakers did to get Russell Westbrook. And then they regretted that. But now they're slowly starting to get back. Now listening to LeBron. Even though I believe still to this day that he had something in the getting of Luka. I just believe that, okay? Now, the Thunder's next 10 games. Friday night worries me, and I talked about this last night on the show as well. Friday night worries me against the Blazers, and this is why. We have the Nuggets on Sunday at noon, which is great as a noon game. We have the Nuggets on Monday. Then we have the Celtics on Wednesday. Then we have the Pistons on Saturday, and then we turn around and play the Bucks again Sunday. So, our next 6 games, the one that worries me the most is tomorrow because just like in football or whatever, when you have big games coming up, excuse me, you have to worry about what's getting ready to happen. Who are you getting ready to play next? And it's hard to not overlook the Blazers because you have 2 huge games coming against the Nuggets, and both of them at home. You have to hold home serve. You have to win your home games. You have to hold serve at home. It's a must. So you have these 2 huge games against the Nuggets. Then you go to Boston. Remember, Boston wants us because we spanked them pretty good here in Oklahoma City. So you know they're going to want to put it on us. So that's going to be a fun game. I'm going to enjoy watching that on Wednesday night, 6:30 on ESPN. That's going to be a fun game. And then you got the Pistons, and the Pistons beat the Celtics. So don't sleep on the Pistons. Don't sleep on the Pistons. Now, why is the Nuggets so important? Coming up. Here are the NBA standings, and this is the easiest way for me to explain to you guys what I'm trying to say here. The Thunder have the Lakers 2 more times. They have the Nuggets 2 more times. We play the Nuggets back-to-back, Sunday, Monday. Then we play the Lakers on a Sunday, Tuesday. So those are 2 huge games. Why? Because those guys are second and third. Now, we do have an 11-game lead, and I think we're 3 games away from, I want to say it's 3 games away from automatically for qualifying for the playoffs, which, I just showed you the schedule, so we're going to get 3 games. And, of course, the Cavaliers have already clinched these because they're in the East, and the East is terrible, as you can see. You look at the West, you look at the East, it's not even remotely the same. But, I guess it's kind of the same. They both have, the difference is the Grizzlies have 38 wins, the Bucks have 36, the Rockets have 37 wins, the Pacers have 35, the Pistons have 35. We have the T-Wolves at 35, the Warriors at 34, but the reason why they're ahead of the T-Wolves is because they have 1 less loss. They're 34 and 28. The T-Wolves are 35 and 29. That is the difference right there between those 2. But that being said, when you look at this, and my point is about the Lakers and the Nuggets, you have to hold serve at home and let them know you can't come in. This is our house. This is our house. So you have a big statement to make Sunday and Monday against the Nuggets. But you can't overlook the Blazers tomorrow night because if you do, then that's going to kind of – and if you're an athlete, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you play a team that you've beaten, I forget how many times in a row we've beaten them. And we've beaten the brakes off of them I don't know how many times in a row, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, we just beat the brakes off of them. You look at that and you go, oh, we're going to smash them. The Celtics just smashed them. So you can look at them like, okay, we're going to smash them. Well, the problem with that is this. You have the Nuggets coming in. And if you overlook them, then all of a sudden now you lose your momentum. What if we won 5 straight? So you've lost a little bit of momentum. The Cavs are just killing they're beating everybody they're supposed to beat. They're beating everybody they're supposed to beat. So we have to continue to beat the teams we're supposed to beat, which is who? The Portland Trail Blazers. Then you have your tough schedule where you have the Nuggets twice and you have the Lakers twice. We win all 4 of those games. Guess what happens? You really put a message, just a little bit of message in their head, like, hey, you better get your games at home. You better win all your games at home. We're gonna hold home games, a home serve. We're gonna hold serve at home here. So we know that we're the number 1 seed. So you guys got to come here 4 times. You're not getting anything here. That's what the Thunder have to prove to these guys. And that's what Sunday and Monday start off trying to make the point of. Okay? Then you turn around, and then you've got the Lakers in 3 weeks, I think, or 4 weeks. We play them. I want to say it's 4 weeks. I know we play them in April. I know we play them, and I think it's April 6th and 8th or something like that is when we play them. So that's going to be interesting. But handle your business Sunday. Handle your business tomorrow first. Then handle your business then. So if the playoffs ended today, this is my point. This is what I was making last night when everybody was talking about and all worried about the Lakers, and all these NBA prognosticators wanting the Lakers to go to the finals, which, of course, we know that. Why don't they? Because it's LeBron. And then what do they want? The NBA, they would love to have the Lakers against the Celtics. The Celtics, remember, have one more championship than the Lakers do. So the NBA would love that, but the hell with that. We want to have a chip in OKC. So the Thunder, as it steps right now, we'd play the Clippers. The Lakers would have the T-Wolves. The Nuggets would have the Warriors, and the Grizzlies and Rockets would go at it. So, of those games, we shouldn't play more than 5. We should either sweep the the Clippers, or beat them in 5. So now we've got a few days rest, but I'd rather not really. I don't want to sweep them because I don't want us to sit for too long. You know what I'm saying? I don't want there to be a week in between games. You don't want that because the rust comes in and all this, so you don't want that. The Lakers would have the T-Wolves. I can promise you that's a 6 or 7 game series. They're not going to go in there and beat them in 5. They're too big, too strong, too physical, and too gifted. That's going to be a series. So the Lakers and the T-Wolves are going to go at it. That's 6 or 7 games. Then if the Lakers do prevail, then they've got the Nuggets, and the Nuggets play the Warriors, which would be a series, but the Nuggets are going to give the Lakers more of a series than the Warriors would. But the Warriors are going to give the Nuggets all they want. But I think the way that Jamal Murray plays in the playoffs, they're going to do. The only thing they have to worry about is Westbrook giving them a game away. That's the thing that they're going to have to really worry about. So if he doesn't do that, they should be fine. So, sorry, I had to blow my nose. I had to sneeze. And so anyway, then all of a sudden, the Thunder would have the winner of the Grizzlies and the Rockets. Well, in that particular case, it'd probably be the Rockets because the Grizzlies, they're just struggling. Okay? And either one of those, that's 5 games for us. 6, unless we give one away. But that should be 5 games on that. The Lakers and Nuggets, I can promise you that's going to be a 7-game series. That's going to be a 7-game series because that strategy that the Lakers beat them on where they were double team and triple teaming Jokic, and Jokic wasn't playing, the Lakers were doing scoring and all this stuff. That ain't going to work the next time. Now, what is significant is that everybody forgets when the Lakers went to the playoffs and went to 2 years ago when they went to the Western Conference Finals, LeBron was spent. They weren't even competitive against the Nuggets. So what's going to happen at this time? If the Lakers get the T-Wolves, that's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. Then they turn around and have to go with the Nuggets, a 6 or 7 game series. Both of those games are going to be physical. Both of those games are going to be they're going to be beating the hell out of each other. So what does that mean? That means that those two teams beating the hell out of each other are going to wear LeBron down. So by the time LeBron gets to us, by the time game 5, 6, 7 come, he's going to be wore down because I don't care what nutrition he is. 41 years old, Father Time is undefeated, just like it was 2 years ago. And that was 2 years ago, and he ran out of gas. But if he has to go a 6 or 7 game series against the T-Wolves, turn around and go another 6 or 7 game series against the Nuggets, and then go another 6 or 7 game series against us, he's not going to have the legs. And we already know with Luka, what does that mean? We know what that's looking like. Because why? We're built for that. We're built for Luka. What did Sam Presti do? We improved our inside game with iHeart, and we improved our perimeter defense with Caruso. So Luka has got Caruso. He goes from Dort to Kaysen to Caruso. Because remember when we made our run, you had an SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Dort, and iHeart on the court. Now you're going to have Chet. And when you have that 5, so you've got Dort beating the hell out of LeBron. You've got Kaysen and Caruso going back and forth with Luka along with SGA. Now, of course, one of them will be on the floor, not both of them at that particular point. We're not worried about Austin Reeves. He ain't going to do nothing because SGA is going to attack him every time he sees him. So we already know that. So we ain't worried about him. So that's the group that's going to make the run. And Dagnall can't afford to be throwing in J. Will with K. Ridge and all of that. You got to go SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, or Dort, whichever, and then Chet or iHeart, whichever. That's the group that you're going to make the run at the end of the first quarter when you put J-Dub on the bench. Don't put him in at the 4-minute mark. Take him out at the 5 or 6 minute mark like you always do. Then in the third quarter, take him out to 5 or 6 mark because when you do that, then all of a sudden, start the second quarter, start the fourth quarter, you're going to have a lead because you're going to struggle unless we get A.J. Mitchell back. Now, if A.J. Mitchell is back, then that puts a whole different dynamic with our team because now you don't have to worry about J-Dub getting double teamed. A.J. is the ball handler. That creates a whole different dynamic with that second unit. When SJ is on the bench, makes a huge difference. Because now you have a real ball handler, a guy who can facilitate, and then J-Dub is a guy who's just making plays off of somebody else facilitating and setting things up, and then that's where he's good at. He's good at not setting things up. He's good at coming off of something. He's not a playmaker. He's a guy who makes plays. There's a difference, and I explained that before. Playmakers are guys who set everybody else who can make plays. That would be SGA. Everybody else are just guys who make plays. So if you can do that, the Thunder have a real opportunity to get where they got to go. But as we know, he can't manage minutes. He has to not sit SGA for 7 minutes in the second quarter. Sitting for 6, 7 minutes. He's got to play 38 minutes, 39 minutes. He's 26 years old. Because this is the thing. The Thunder have a 5-year window. Every team, no matter what, I don't know if you want to call them dynasties, whatever you want to say, you have a 5-year window that you have to maximize your talent. Okay? The Warriors won 4 in 7, I believe is what it was. But they should have won 4 in 5 years. Because remember, they won, then they should have won back-to-back. Draymond did what he did to LeBron, cost them that one. They get Kevin Durant, they win 2 more, so they win 3 out of 4. Then Kevin Durant gets hurt, does his Achilles, and Clay hurts his knee. If not, they win 4 out of 5. If not 5 in a row. So the Thunder have a 5-year window. Now the question is our coach going to be able to get outside of his self, not play J-Dub and SGA the same amount of minutes, but understand you have SGA and everybody else. If he understands that and he's up there to win instead of trying to develop players we're going to win the chip. If he tries to develop players and he's still in developmental role and playing J-Dub and SJ the same amount of minutes and sitting SJ for 7 minutes in the playoffs, we're not going to win. And as I've said before, when you compare the Celtics and the Thunder, they made the same moves. When the Celtics got out-coached against Miami and Spoelstra out-coached Missoula, what did they do? They went and got Porzingis, they got rid of Marcus Smart, and they added Drew Holiday. And then they added 2 veteran coaches to the coaching staff to help him when situations come arise. They can help him migrate through that tangled mess. Thunder, we get out coached by Jason Kidd 100% last year. What does Sam Presti do? He adds iHeart, gets rid of Josh, brings in Caruso, and then does nothing with the coaching staff to help them. Now, do we have a good coaching staff? Yes. But are they veterans? No. They're a good group of guys who are learning and getting better as a group. But if you're trying to win a chip, which is what the Celtics said, we're going to give our coach help. We're going to give him veteran coaches. Now, what happened? Only one of them is there. The other one left. One of them left and went to with J.J. Redick. What are the Lakers doing? What did J.J. do? You get a rookie coach, you provide veteran leadership around him, and we'll look at what the Lakers are doing. Because you have veteran coaches who understand situationals. They know what teams are, they can feel, they know what's going on. That's how you win the chip, which is why Stephen A. Smith says, is Sam Presti really trying to bring a chip to Oklahoma City, or is he just trying to be a perennial playoff team? That's what he was talking about. He's not slamming Sam. All he's saying is he gave him his clip. I mean, if he's not arguably the best GM in the league. But the question is he a GM trying to be a playoff to make us relevant every year, or is he a GM trying to win a chip? Now, to me, why the hell, if you're going to be a GM, not want to win a chip? Why would you not want to bring a championship to Oklahoma City? The franchise already has one, but it's in Seattle. So why would we bring the Supersonics banner and hang it here in Paycom? No, we need our own championship banner. We need our own party at Scissortail Park. That's what we need. And I can promise you, it's going to be loaded and crazy there. And who the hell's not going to want to go, right? Who's not going to be there? Take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. If you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit our guys up over at SRB. They love to take care of it. If you have a new complex that you're building, they can help you out and lay out everything, make sure that everything laid, all the piping is done, there won't be any flooding, and you just hit those guys up. Plus, if you have a water treatment plant in your city or county, those guys will be there to take good care of you. Oak Grove Trucking and my guy Jose Fierro. If you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, hit my guy up. He can take very good care of you. He's a good dude. About to add another truck too, I believe, to his arsenal because they are staying really, really busy. YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, member of the FDIC, proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses, which, of course, as I said the other day, we'll be going back to Georgia's. We're going to be going to cutting up the barbershop. We're going to be going to Genofia's, my sister's restaurant that my nephew is running. We're going to be going to a couple of the different places to support minority and women-owned businesses. Plus, of course, we'll be back at Rococo again, hanging out with my boy Bruce. And then, of course, we will be back at Industry, going up there and dealing with those guys as well. And then also, now that it's warmed up, we'll be back at my girl Kat's place, doing those games there, doing postseason games there at Kat's. Of course, not on Wednesdays and Thursdays, because of Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, because they have karaoke. So we're not doing it. We will not be at Cats on there unless we'll be on a patio. So, but anyway, looking forward to doing that episode. Those places will all be sponsored by these guys right here. And, of course, you can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. It's www.ynbok.com. Or you go to one of the 5 locations. The main bank, 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 or 39th Expressway. YB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YB Parkway off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, right there on Garth Brooks. Cannot miss it, right in front of the hospital. And, of course, YB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. And then, of course, the House of Creed, handcrafted since 1760. There's some good smell of stuff, guys. I'm just going to tell you. And this is what they told me, Matt, always remember, pick the best for your best. So if you're a guy, man, they've got some good perfume that, of course, Ace picked out for his Aunt Jen. And then, of course, I've got some that I've got. If you're a woman wanting to pick out some for men, please go ahead and do that. I can promise you. They've got some good smelling stuff. Good smelling stuff. And here are the ways to go see them. You go see my girl Beth over at Penn Square Mall, in the Dillards, in the men's Dillards, not the women's Dillards, but the men's Dillards. Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, Town East Mall, Wichita, Kansas, Oak Park Mall, Kansas City, Missouri, Park Plaza Mall, Little Rock, Arkansas, South Plains Mall in Lubbock, Texas, and Westgate Mall in Amarillo. So, now let's talk about the association of what happened in the league last night when you look at the games and what happened in scoring and all that. Well, let's talk about our guy SGA. Let's finish up that deal before we move on. SGA had another 40-piece last night. He had 41. This is his stats this year. It's just crazy to me. It really is insane. He's got 4 50-plus games, 10 40-plus games, 39 30-plus games, 60 20-plus games. And remember, we've only played 62 games this year. Isn't that crazy? That's insane. 60 of the 62 games we played, he's had at least 20 points. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. This weather is just, guys, weather, be hot or cold. Now, I know I'm asking for a lot, but I do live in Oklahoma, so I am understanding uh, the challenges associated with that statement I just made. But anyway, he's just a freak, and he will be the MVP this year. But like we said before, what's crazy is, why am I the only one promoting this? You have all these channels who have more people watching their stuff than me. I'm the only one that promoted this. The Thunder don't even promote him. And it's so funny, is last night games, they gave these exact stats that I just showed you, that I've got up on the screen right now. First time. First time. How is that possible? How am I, a guy who doesn't have any access to any of your metrics? You're in the NBA. You have an NBA team. You have all this stuff. And I'm the one that's promoting your MVP. And you're promoting J-Dub. A guy you play the same amount of minutes as him. A guy that you think has more upside than him. Which is just insane to me. Everybody knew what SGA was going to be his rookie year. Nobody knew what J-Dub was going to be. And J-Dub is going to be a good number 2, number 3 player. If you send him to a Washington Wizards, he's going to be like Kyle Kuzma, or he's going to be like, what's his name, that I forgot his name, that was for the Golden State Warriors. That's who he's going to be. He's not a guy who's going to get you a championship. That ain't him. He is a number 2B, 3A player. That's who he is. And I'm glad to hell that we have him and nobody else does. That's all I can tell you. So, this is what happened last night. Cavaliers took care of the Heat, and the Heat I thought were going to get them last night, to be honest with you. I was watching that game. Because that game came on before our game, and then our game didn't be on ESPN. We had to watch it on FanDuel, which was just painful. They're painful to watch. They're painful to watch because it's sad that our guys that we have with the number 1 team in the West don't understand what shots are and what the correct terminology is. You have to go to ESPN or TNT to get announcers who actually know what the hell stuff is. It's sad. It really is sad. It's sad. There's no such thing as a push shot, and I keep talking about it because it just drives me insane. And this is the deal. Our color commentator, he knows that. He played in the league. He should know what shots are. He knows there's no such shot as a push shot. He knows that. But he's just trying to act like, I'm gonna make a new term for something. No, it's called a floater. And you're going to make our kids who are listening to you, because kids are brutal. And you go to the gym, and you're sitting there, you're dealing, you go, oh, that push shot. They're gonna look like, what the hell are you talking about? They'll get made fun of because of you. It's ridiculous. The Wizards took care of the Jazz last night, 125-122. I don't know who cares. The Celtics took care of the Trailblazers, like I said, 128-118 in Boston. The Timberwolves, like I said, the Blazers played last night. Then they turn around and they come to play us tonight. I'm really worried about that game on a back-to-back. I'm worried about it because it's Sunday. T-Wolves and the Hornets. The T-Wolves took care of business, 125-110. The Mavericks, once again, lose to the Bucks by 30. And without Kyrie, without AD, without Gafford, without Lively, they're just without Kleber, they're not the same team. They really are not. They really are not. I mean, for a team that if they still had everybody and everybody was healthy, I promise you that score would not be what that is. I can promise you that. The Nuggets, of course, took care of business over the Kings at home, 116-110. Thunder, of course, took care of business over the Grizzlies, 120-103 in Memphis. And I think we're now 3-0 against them, if I can remember correctly. I believe we're 3-0 against the Grizzlies as of now. And then, of course, the Clippers took care of the Pistons in LA, 123-115. And then games today, you've got the Bulls and the Magic, which doesn't affect us. We don't really care. The Warriors at the Nets, which we do care because the Warriors are creeping up in the Western Conference standings, and they should take care of the Nets. And I think that will make the Warriors 9-1 since acquiring Jimmy Butler, 10-1, something like that, 10-1, 11-1 since acquiring Jimmy Butler. So they should handle the Nets pretty easily. The Pacers and the Hawks, we don't care. Once again, that's in the East. 76ers and Celtics, we don't really care again, other than we want the Celtics to beat the 76ers because we've got 76ers pick, so we want that to continue to be in our favor. Rockets at the Pelicans. The Rockets have to get this win because of where they sit. People are everybody's coming back to creep up against them. You've got the Warriors coming. They still have to worry about Minnesota. So there's things that they have to handle their business because if they don't, they could have some issues. So they've got to worry about that number 5 position because the last thing they want to be is having to go to Denver to play them in that first round, okay, or going to the Lakers. So, because right now they're sitting at number 5, and they're 3 games ahead of the Warriors, and they're 3 games ahead of the T-Wolves, 4 games ahead of the Clippers, and only 1 game behind the Grizzlies. So they've got to make a run big time. So they've got to win tonight. That's important for them to get a win. And then, of course, the Knicks at the Lakers. That ought to be a good one. The East coming against the West. And remember, the Knicks are 0-2 against the Thunder, 0-2 against the Celtics, 0-2 against the Cavaliers. So we're going to see what's going to happen against the Lakers. What kind of team are they really, and what they're going to bring or not going to bring. So that's what we're going to see from that. Now, in shooting percentage, SGA 32.6, 52% from the field, 37% from 3, and all these numbers will go up. And I will have all these next on Monday. I'll have all these updated for everybody on Monday. Where everybody's at, and I can have it done. I'll do it tomorrow. Before the show tomorrow, I'll have all these updated as far as the actual scoring from last night. I did not put those in today. J-Dub, 21.4, 47%, 36 from 3, 78% from the line. I like that. And, of course, J. Will missed a free throw last night, so he is no longer at 100%. And then Chet didn't play last night. Wiggins, 11.4. His numbers will go up a little bit, 49% from the field, 39% from 3, 83% from the line, and that's what I like. Hey, let's make our free throws. iHeart, like I said, the thing that worries me the most is his free throw percentage because teams are going to foul him. They're going to foul him. Lou Dort, 9.8, 42% from the field, 39% from 3, 78%. Like him shooting 40%. Joe, 40%. Kaysen, his numbers are going up. It doesn't look like it. I know it looks bad, but those numbers are really good compared to where Kaysen started. Okay? Caruso, his numbers look good compared to where Caruso started. K. Rich he's just been steady. J. Will been steady all year long, so we look at that. But once again, here is if the Thunder are going to win, This is what it's going to take. This is what's going to separate the Thunder. Okay? This is what's going to separate the Thunder. If we're going to win, this is what it's going to be and what it's going to take for the Thunder to win. Right now, we're actually leading the NBA in scoring since the All Star break. So, but that doesn't matter. I'm just like, here's the overall record. We're number one at 106.8, giving up points per game. And remember, they only had 103 last night. Field goal percentage, 51.4. They shot 40% last night. 3-point percentage, 33.9. We're number one now. I'm just giving you stuff we're number one in. Our opponent's shooting 33.9%. That's number one. We're shooting 82% from the free throw line. That's number one. Pips, points in the paint. We're only giving up 42.5. That's number one. Steals, number one. Getting the ball stolen from us, number one. Turnovers, number one. That's turning the opposing team over. I mean, us taking care of the ball. I'm sorry. 11.6 turnovers a game is what we average. 17.5, that's turning the opposing team over. 17 and a half times a game. Second quarter, we're third in scoring. Fourth quarter, opponents, 25.7, we're second. So we're number one in giving up points. We're number one in field goal percentage. We're number one in 3-point percentage. That's 2-point percentage, by the way. We're number one in 3-point percentage. We're number one in free throws. We're number one in taking the ball away from people. We're number one in pips, points in the paint. We're number one in taking care of the basketball for steals. We're number one in turnovers, which us turning the ball over. We're number one in taking the ball away from the opposing teams. There's 9 categories we're number one in. The fourth quarter, giving up 25.7 points in the fourth quarter, we're number 2. So 9 categories, or 10 categories if you want to count the second quarter, we're 1 or 2. That's why the Thunder are where they are. Trent, man, Eddie did not play as much as I thought he did yesterday. He should yesterday. Well, Trent, he couldn't play because of one simple thing. When we're scoring like that, you get the lead. You can't afford to have him out there. You can't. He's a liability. That's why I did not want him. Drew Hinthorn wanted him, and we were like, no. We do not want Zach Edey because he's a big guy, and we drive to the basket, and he hangs out inside. It's a detriment to our team and how we play. Now, what they want was another Steven Adams where he can get extra rebounds and stuff like that. That's cool. But he clogs up the middle, which blocks Ja from going to the deal, but then you also have Jaren Jackson Jr. who plays inside, so it fits more of what Taylor Jenkins is doing as their coach and their style. Whereas us, Chet plays out, iHeart plays out, so that it opens up the lane for us to attack and to kick out and hit knockdown threes, Trent. So that's why Edey hasn't played a lot against us, period, because of that simple fact. Because once we get the lead, there's no reason for him to be in the game. So, which is part of what I was saying, is that don't worry about whether teams are doing so much. Keep your focus. But this is the thing. In the second quarter, you can't sit SGA for 7 minutes. You have to stop that. At 6:47, when they bring in their best players, you have to bring in their best players. So was Chet a late injury yesterday? I think they held him out simply because we have a nice stretch coming up, and he got kind of hurt his leg the other night against Houston. So I think they were just trying to – this is a precautionary thing. That's what I kind of thought, that we could beat them without him, which we did. So I think that was a precautionary deal, not necessarily something that was really going to affect Chet one way or the other. That's just kind of how I looked at it. So, but we'll see what's going to happen from there. But Trent, I think that that Chet will be fine. I believe he'll play tomorrow night against the Blazers, and then for sure he'll play probably Sunday, because that'll be an ABC game, a nationally televised game on Sunday, and we probably want to have that versus him playing Monday on back-to-back. Now, it may be the point where Chet's playing back-to-back finally. I don't know. Would I do that? Probably not. Probably not. So, but, that being said, it's just nice having the big fella back. It's nice having him in there. It's nice trying to get him back involved. And the thing that I'm excited about is I think in 2 weeks, 10 days or so, we'll evaluate A.J. Mitchell after his 10-week injury on his toe deal. Is how is he progressing? Because I don't think he's practicing yet. So the best sign of an injury, a person getting ready to play, is are they practicing? Because if they're practicing, then that allows us to know that, okay, this guy's coming back, he's ready to go. So that's part of what we are looking to see, because that's going to be a big part of that second unit. If he's coming back, that allows us to do so much more with him playing. So, but anyway, hey guys, I want to appreciate everybody. Hey, go out there and enjoy this beautiful day. It's Thursday. Tomorrow, remember, tomorrow we'll be back on, and then tomorrow night is the Thunder against the Trailblazers, which we should win, especially since they played last night. We should be able to get them every other day, so that we should be able to get them and take care of business. But like I said, it worries me because we have the Nuggets coming in on Sunday, Monday, and it's hard not to overlook somebody who you've smashed pretty much every time you play them, and you've got a tough game coming up in conference. Remember, they're in our division. Okay, so that matters as well. So we need to handle our business at home. Like I said, you have to win your home games against your tough opponents, because you got to send a message. Because remember, in the playoffs, you have 4 home games. So you got to let them know, hey, you can't come in here. This is our house. We're going to handle our business. So that being said, thanks to everybody for your support. I appreciate you for liking, subscribing. I appreciate you coming in the chats and doing that stuff. And then also,